Hello, everyone. This is Captain Morgan.
Hello, this is the realest JB.
And welcome to another episode of
Co-op Reviews. I want to bite people's heads off.
We're doing Venom today.
Can we bite people's heads off?
No,
I really
we
want to
can't.
bite someone's head off.
That's gross.
Like I tried.
Your mouth will not fit around a human's head.
Not with that attitude. Venom. So, Sony went ahead and was like, you know what?
We don't have Spiderman anymore.
We don't need Spider-Man for a movie. We don't need that. No. We have the other properties. Let's make a movie
about
them.
every other Spider-Man property that we can fit into a movie that doesn't need Spider-Man.
That does not need. I'm not gonna say don't say need because that's
fair.
That's another thing. That just doesn't have Spider-Man. And
yeah.
Does it work? Did it work?
Partially.
Okay.
So, my favorite thing about it, they nailed the suit, which is really nice to see.
Yeah,
especially after the last time Venom was on screen. I'm looking right at you. Looking right at you, Sam Raimi.
Whoa. I mean, honestly, I dug Topher Grace.
No, fight me.
As Venom. Actually.
Well, okay, no. Topher Grace. Here's the interesting thing. Topher Grace, I think, did a better Eddie Brock than
Tom
Hardy.
Yeah.
But his Venom was awful. But this Venom was actually, the Venom character was actually pretty good.
That's because the Venom in Spider-Man 3 wasn't really Venom. It was just Eddie Brock with the symbiote suit.
Right, right.
It wasn't Venom. Like, Venom had a personality that was
his own separate personality. That and I did like the back and forth between Eddie and Venom. I thought that was those were some of the funniest moments when Eddie would
were the best
be awkward.
Moments.
Yeah, would be awkward, and Venom
the
would be
of the movie.
calling him a punk. Like that. Honestly, I don't know. I should have looked it up. I don't know who played Venom in the movie.
It was Tom Hardy.
Okay, so he played both sides?
Yes.
Well, then, I thought that he had great chemistry with himself. So there's that.
Exactly, and that says a lot considering this movie has quite
a few
characters that you just don't give a fuck about.
Can you tell me the name of one character in that movie other than Eddie and Venom?
And there's Drake was his last name. It was like the most villainous, Carlton Drake.
Was that the Indian guy's name?
Yes.
Okay.
The villain, the human villain in this movie, then it was not. It just fell apart. Everything outside of Venom and Eddie Brock.
And that's the saddest thing. You know. Here's the thing about this. This movie would have been really good 10 years ago, when superhero movies were still kind of a new thing.
I could see that.
Because we've been given, especially recently with Black Panther and with Infinity War, and just a lot of the Marvel properties recently, we've been given a lot more interesting stories and villains.
Mm-hmm.
And to see another movie that is fun but not exciting, I guess.
And it's not only that, but this movie just felt so I agree with you. This came out 10 years ago. We'd probably have different opinions. But now that we know
we've raised the bar.
We've raised the bar, and we know the formula now. And this movie was so formulaic. It was short and sweet. They didn't explain a lot.
It was a very short movie. That was another thing that tripped me out. There was a lot more stuff they could have put in this movie, but they cut it a lot out, and it's an hour and 40 minutes long.
Yeah.
It's really short.
It's really short. They really didn't do a lot. And, this is a movie that really took place for the better or worse, not really a spoiler, but there was some time that passed. It felt like everything just happened in the day.
Yeah, everything. Yeah, in a weekend.
As far as the action goes, again, it's pretty much the run of the mill. Mm-hmm. Venom is obviously all CGI.
Yeah.
So.
And I think that worked ultimately because
I got some issues with it that we'll talk about in the spoilers, but
okay. I mean, it was essentially like Hulk. I mean, because Venom and Hulk, I think, are built very similarly as characters. So I feel like it would be hard to do Venom justice without making him a full CGI character.
My thing is, it's not exactly just the CGI, but it's the CGI and the combination that it's a PG-13 film.
That was a big issue of mine. Also,
they were doing all these things. I reference head biting at opening of this episode, like, no, that's a thing that they do, but yeah.
It doesn't feel like it doesn't feel impactful.
It doesn't feel impactful, and my thing is like if you have a gory, maniacal, like
because Venom's pretty serious.
He is. No. You read the comics, he's definitely an anti-hero. He is not a hero.
He's a cold-blooded murderer.
He is a cold-blooded murderer.
He's worse than Deadpool. Like leagues worse than Deadpool.
But how they treated it in this movie, like it was very comedic and buddy copy. But I dug it. But when shit got serious, the tone was still light.
Yeah.
I feel like that was another opportunity lost for Sony. They could have also been the team to been like, you know what? Let's go ahead and get another rated R superhero movie out. Might as well do it with Venom. We don't have Spiderman in it, so we're not trying to market this to children.
Yeah.
Might as well, but they didn't, and they missed a big opportunity there.
And again, the action scenes were something we've seen a million times at this point. I mean, it feels kind of harsh to critique it against a lot of Disney Marvel films, but at the same time, you've got a really important property, and if you're gonna try to take it to, if you're gonna try to make it be like your own universe, then you really have to like put forth the effort in every area. You can't let it sag anywhere.
I guess just Disney Marvel Studios just happened to find like a formula that works to keep pumping out quality superhero films.
And the interesting thing is that their formula, it changes as it goes, which I think is necessary because they come up with a new movie every year, sometimes two every year, and they need to change their style up. So it feels like the company that made this movie still back in 2005. All right, so we're going to talk about some spoiler stuff in a second here. If you haven't seen the movie, come back and watch more. But final thoughts?
Final thoughts on the movie, you can skip it. I mean, unless you just have to see like
wait till it's out
an
on
adaptation of Venom. Like you can skip it. See it on Netflix with someone when you're like drunk or something. I don't know.
That'd be a good time. That'd be a fun time.
Substance abuse, but you might want to be under something when you're watching this. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, so one of the things that I was saying about this feels like a movie from 2005 is that the main antagonist, Riot, was Venom. It was the main character fighting themselves. It was like Iron Man, where Iron Man was fighting a guy in an Iron Man suit, You
deal with these dark opposites of yourselves. Yeah, I get it. We've seen it a million times. It's just,
and it's not even like Riot is like the evil Venom. Venom is evil. If you're going into this movie and you don't know that Venom is evil, like you missed something along the way. And and that's another point. I also kind of didn't like how they tried to make Venom seem like the good guy symbiote. I kind of like the idea that he is.
I mean, they definitely changed up Eddie's character because they had to take out Spider-Man. So because that's the main thing missing from this movie is Spider-Man. Like how you literally tried to make a Venom movie without Spider-Man, and you thought this was a good idea. How the fuck, like, who the fuck, like, greenlit that? I don't understand it, because...
Honestly,
it doesn't make any sense. Because they had to change up Eddie's character. They had to change up Eddie's character, and they had to change up Venom's intention to make them look like they're heroes.
And to make them the lead character of a film instead of the bad guy.
Yeah, exactly, but that's not the case. That's not the case at all. I mean, I definitely dug the chemistry they had. Like, Venom instead was like this... this homicidal, like...
He was crazy, but
friend.
He wasn't evil.
Exactly.
He just didn't know how to... He didn't know right from wrong.
Function in society.
He doesn't know right from wrong, and Eddie's got to be his moral compass, which I think works for what they're trying to do. But should they have tried to do it? That's the question.
And my answer is no.
Yeah.
But when you got a bunch of executives that say we have this property, we
need to make money.
We're going to milk this money out. Yeah, what? We sold Spider-Man to Disney, or at least some of them? Well, at least we caught all his villains.
They didn't even sell him to Disney. They just
loaned him.
Yeah, like they're making all the money off of Sony's getting all the money off of Spider-Man movies.
Oh man, that could have been the sequel to Homecoming.
I agree. I think that would have been, as
like,
much as I do want to see Mysterio, because he's one of my
oh
favorite
yeah,
Spider-Man
Jake
villains.
Gyllenhaal's Mysterio. I got to see that. But
Venom is my number one favorite Spider-Man villain. So
I'm so sorry.
and that's the thing. Like, I liked Venom as a character in the movie, but he didn't have anything to play off of.
And guys, like we were saying earlier, and you've seen this movie by now. Everyone else is not even worth talking about. Like
I did like female Venom, and I liked the nod to She Venom, and I'm like, oh man, if they end up making a sequel, I want to see her be a thing because I do like female Venom.
Yeah,
I do like She Venom.
Yeah, she just came up, and that was really weird. But I definitely dug that. Like, everything around Venom was awesome except for Riot.
Yeah.
Like, I did not.
Well, okay, so the antagonist was boring. The other characters were completely tangential. The doctor guy, Dan, he really just felt more like a set piece than a character.
And here's my thing. Here's my thing about this movie. Like, I don't even know if it just wasn't taking itself seriously, because there's a 6 month time skip, right? Mm-hmm. If you know the backstory of Eddie Brock and why he gets bonded into Venom in the first place, you know it's because Peter Parker does something.
Right.
He ends up getting blackballed from journalism in New York, and I guess that's why they said it in San Francisco, which is pretty cool because they referenced it, so that's nice.
Right.
But his fiance, of course, because of all that,
the whole first half felt really rushed. The whole first act felt like they were rushing through that, and then 6 months passed.
And it had no consequence on the present. That's what I'm getting to.
Exactly.
Like he
you could have
breaks up
started
with his fiance.
Yeah, you could have started it right there.
Yeah.
And through a little bit of good exposition, you could have just started the film from Eddie's living on his own because he's a loser.
There wasn't any of that, and the opening was just so freaking generic, and we've seen it literally. If you've seen Predator, if you've seen the Predator movie that came out a few weeks ago, you've seen like
I was getting flashbacks of it.
Yeah.
That was
you've seen like the
same type of main character too.
You've seen like 60% of this movie already.
Mm-hmm. and it felt like because I was kind of keeping time on it, and Venom showed up in the first 30 minutes of the film, we saw full Venom, which was cool, because, I don't want to wait for the main character that I came to see, but that first 30 minutes felt like forever, and that's why I was keeping time on it, because I was like, how far are we into this movie?
That's why I was just like, oh my God, when are we going to see Venom? Because this is just, I don't care about this drama. I don't care. Hey, you know what? I don't care that you got broken up from your fiance, because you obviously don't give a shit either.
He clearly really he cared because the screenwriter told him to care, and that was as far as it went.
Exactly. There's no and Tom Hardy's a great actor. I don't know what happened. Mm-hmm. What? I'm leaving you, Eddie.
Oh no.
Oh no. Okay.
I'm so sad.
I'm so sad. And then that final fight. I didn't know what the fuck was going on, to be honest.
Oh yeah, no, I had trouble following it a lot.
Action movies are like my thing. Mm-hmm. Like, if I can't follow the action to see what is going on, there's something there's an issue.
There was good conceptual basis behind it, but it just didn't pan out.
It didn't. It looked really sloppy, man. This was to me, in my opinion, a very sloppily done movie.
I say 2.5 stars.
Yeah, and it's really sad.
And that's coming from someone who Venom is my number one favorite Spider-Man villain. And they did Venom right. Yeah. And that's the only reason it gets any stars.
Yeah, they did Venom the character right. Mm-hmm. Well, about 90%.
A lot of these superhero movies really just need to do the Homecoming, the Spider-Man Homecoming thing, and say, forget the origin story. They're the superhero. They've been the superhero. They know how to do it. Let's move on from that. Because I'm so tired of seeing origin stories. Because you don't get to see the superhero until an hour into the film, and that's why you came to the film. You didn't come for this mediocre character drama. I'm sorry.
Well, at least in the sequel, there won't be an origin story, apparently. There will be carnage. Dude.
Don't talk to me about Carnage.
I'm going to tell you right now, I laughed my ass off when he looked in the... When Woody Harrelson, with his curly red wig, looked in the camera and said there will be carnage, and then it cut off. I laughed my ass off, dude.
I wasn't sure if that was even supposed to be funny or not.
Oh, man. I was cracking up. I was like, wow, that was the boldest...
You know, and the worst part is that Riot and Carnage are the same character.
Really?
I mean, like, in terms of story, like, they're both symbiotes and they're both, like, more crazier than Venom. That's their whole shtick.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, their powers are a little different, and, like, they have a different person inside of them, but...
Well, the thing about Carnage, number one, Carnage is the offspring of Venom.
Right. It's part Venom. That is part of Venom. You're right.
And it's, like, fused with Cassidy's, like, blood. Mm-hmm. So, and this is why the sequel should be rated R, because
Carnage is worse than Venom.
It's his name. That Carnage sequel needs to be rated R if they do a sequel. I mean, like I said, Woody Harrelson.
No. You know what needs to happen?
What?
Disney just needs to get to the rights to it and just shove it into their cinematic universe.
But will Disney make a rated R movie?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Only time will tell. Mm-hmm. Any final thoughts?
No, don't see it, to be honest. Like,
they've already seen it if they've gotten this far.
They have. Well, final takeaways is I like the chemistry between Tom Hardy and Tom Hardy.
Yes.
As Eddie Brock and Venom. Let's keep that. Let's harness that, right? And actually, like, build on the characters around them, or make some characters like people will actually give a shit about. You know, like we have Tom Hardy and Venom. We're gonna have Cassidy and Carnage in the sequel, right? Let's see some actual characters, dude. Let's see some characters that people actually know. Maybe a little, like, nod from Kingpin or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, they do have rights to a lot of the other Spider-Man villains, so...
Exactly. Do something with that, man. Because other than that, like, you guys... Ooh, man.
Yeah.
Like you said, sell it to Disney and let Disney nut up and freaking make
Nut up and shut up.
Nut up and shut up and make a rated R movie, finally.
Yep.
You know, but other than that...
You heard it here. If you enjoyed it, hit that like button.
Thumbs up.
Make sure to comment.
Comment, subscribe.
And subscribe.
Yes.
And we'll see you guys in the next episode of
Co-op Reviews! Peace out!